Welcome back! Didn't get enough, huh? That's right. You want some more juicy, real, fast food horror stories, don't ya? Well, you came to the right place. This is part number 2 of fast food horror stories. Crimes that have been unsolved. Murder mysteries at fast food restaurants. Before we start this video, make sure you smash that like button. Let's get 5,000 likes on this video so that YouTube recommends this video to everyone else. Subscribe and hit that post notification bell on so when I upload more videos, you don't miss out. Without further ado, let's get started. One of my favorite places to eat for breakfast, or maybe just a late night munch session, is probably Dennys. When I used to travel a lot in Florida, you know, sometimes it's like 3:30 in the morning, 4 a.m. Just finished a YouTube video filming for you guys, and one of the best things that was open would be Dennys. I mean, they're all quite reliably open. They're usually pretty decent. Here's a story that has happened to me before I get into the real story. This one time I was sitting there and this girl was talking about, I was with Kazzy Official back then, shout out to Kazzy, and we overheard this conversation of this 18-year-old girl who was telling her friend, nah girl, he ain't even know. And then we were just listening like, what? He ain't even know about what? This girl got pregnant and didn't tell her boyfriend. She pretended to be on birth control and she was planning on waiting to actually give birth to be like, oh, by the way, you're the daddy now.
If he's mine, I'll take care of him. If not,
in the case of 2-year-old Jackson Blaine, you are the father.
Now, if that isn't a horror story, I don't know what is. That's probably the scariest thing that can ever happen to a man, is becoming a father unwillingly. Anyways, let's get into the real story. On February 3rd, 1996, Cyrus Salihi was working the graveyard shift in Los Angeles, California. It was just another day of work, right? Wrong. Things were going pretty well for this 38-year-old. He recently got partial ownership and he had just married his girlfriend of 2 years, 11 months prior. But in the pre-dawn time right before the morning, his life would be cut short. You know, it's kind of weird because that's sort of the same time that I used to go to Dennys at. Police say that Ruben Lopez, a 20-year-old, entered the Dennys with a gun. He went in to rob the store. Salihi did whatever he could. He tried to give him the cash. He forked up $400 from the cash register and gave it to the 20-year-old. However, let's just say that Ruben woke up that day and chose violence because after receiving the $400, he still shot the manager in the chest. A couple of days later, Lopez and his getaway driver were convicted and sentenced to life in prison. It's crazy how something like that could happen at a Dennys, working the night shift, just trying to pay bills, when suddenly pure evil can happen. I've never done a Dennys drive-thru video before, and I'm guessing that you guys probably haven't smashed that like button yet, but you probably should. If we get 10,000 likes on this video, hey, maybe I'll go to Dennys and do a drive-thru challenge just for you guys. Let's talk about Pizza Hut, one of the best pizza brands out there. Unfortunately, there is an unsolved murder mystery that has happened at Pizza Hut. It was a regular Saturday shift, closing up for the weekend, almost done, about to go home at the Wichita Pizza Hut, where Hassan worked as a delivery driver. Hassan Rahman was a 26-year-old immigrant from Bangladesh, just trying to make ends meet. On the evening of November 25th, 2017, Hassan drove off to make 2 deliveries. Unfortunately, Hassan never returned. When he failed to return to the restaurant, things took a sinister turn. The Pizza Hut co-workers went out looking for Hassan, but to no avail. The following day, the confusion and the anxiety the co-workers had looking for Hassan turned into sorrow as his body was discovered. The Wichita State University engineering student's body was found in the trunk of his car.
Police are still asking for the public's help in the death of Hassan Rahman. He was killed 2 years ago while delivering for Pizza Hut. His body was found 3 miles away from his last delivery in an East Wichita neighborhood. That's where a passerby found his body in the trunk of a car. Now his wife tells Desmond Nugent the holidays are a painful reminder the man her children called their father is no longer here.
His murder remains unsolved till today. No one knows why it happened or who did it. It's just one of those mysteries that have been unsolved. Was it just bad luck? Wrong place at the wrong time? Maybe. Not too far from where his body was found, Huang Pam and her son Cody were shot to death in their home on the night of November 25th. Pizza Hut offered up to $10,000 for anybody who has any tips towards this mystery. Unfortunately, they have not been able to solve this mystery. Was it a planned homicide? Was it a mistake? Or was it something more? I'll let you decide in the comments down below. Now, if you thought that was weird, wait till you hear this. This is about to get really freaking creepy. So grab your blanket. Imagine just working for a second at McDonald's or Baskin Robbins or Captain D's, and in the window, you see somebody just standing there watching you. Okay, a little bit weird, but you know, maybe he's just looking at how handsome I am or how pretty I am. Clearly you're attractive, so he's probably just checking you out. Nothing out of the ordinary. All right, the next day, you see him standing there again. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty handsome, but like, I'm not that handsome, let's be real here. Something's going on. Day 3, he's back staring at you. Now it's starting to get creepy. Well, this sort of thing actually happened in real life. A serial killer preyed on the employees of fast food chains like Captain D's, McDonald's, and Baskin Robbins. On February 15th, 1997, the dishwasher and convicted robber Paul Dennys threw a plate at some employees in the Nashville area in the kitchen of a restaurant. The restaurant manager quickly fired the 39-year-old and told him to leave. I mean, if somebody was throwing plates at employees, I would tell them to leave as well. The following day, things got evil. Reed embarked on a killing spree, and he targeted people specifically working at fast food restaurants. It's with great sorrow that I say that at least 7 people were dead.
Reed killed employees at a Captain D's in Donaldson, a McDonald's in Hermitage, and a Baskin Robbins in Clarksville.
7 people! That is a big number. The first place he started at was Captain D's, a seafood restaurant that he used to work at. He went in right before the morning, as soon as the place opened, robbed the place, and then shot the manager to death.
On the morning of February 16th, 1997, 2 employees of a Captain D's restaurant were preparing to open for the day when a man knocked on the front door holding a job application. The restaurant manager, 25-year-old Steve Hampton, opened the door and let the man in. A moment later, the man produced a pistol and ordered the manager and another employee, 16-year-old Sarah Jackson, into the cooler, where he shot and killed them both.
And then it gets worse. About a month later, he went to a McDonald's and he ambushed 4 employees who were closing for the night in Nashville, Tennessee, and he took away their life.
4 weeks later, on the evening of March 23rd, at a McDonald's restaurant only 3 miles away from the scene of the Captain D's murders, a man approached 4 employees as they were leaving at closing time. The man forced the employees back into the store and ordered them into the storeroom at the back of the restaurant. Once in the storeroom, the killer shot 17-year-old Andrea Brown, 27-year-old Ronald Santiago, and 23-year-old Robert Sewell to death, execution style. Realizing the killer had run out of ammunition, the 4th victim, 39-year-old Jose Gonzalez, jumped up and began to fight the assailant. The killer produced a knife and stabbed Gonzalez 17 times in the neck and upper torso. The killer emptied the registers and safe of nearly $3,000 and fled the scene. Gonzalez, however, was not dead and managed to drag himself to a phone and call 911.
On April 23rd, 1997, He went after Baskin Robbins. According to the Tennessee Supreme Court report, he went into the Baskin Robbins and he kidnapped a 21-year-old Angela Holmes and a 16-year-old Michelle Mace from the ice cream store and later murdered them both in the Dunbar Cave State Park. Now, if you're from Tennessee, you've probably already heard of this tragedy before, and maybe you've even been to that park. Eventually, he was caught. And he was sentenced to death 7 times over. It is unfortunate that this was a real story. I didn't make this up. This actually happened. I have a lot more stories to tell you guys. If you guys want to see a part number 3 to this, you know what to do. Let's get 5,000 likes on this video. I will do a part 3 just for you guys. Hit that like button so that YouTube recommends this video to other people so that I can keep making these videos for you guys. Also hit that subscribe button so when I upload another video you don't miss out. Follow me on Instagram if you care about my personal life at all. So the next time you go to a fast food restaurant and think that this is just an innocent place, remember, there may be a lot of ghosts lurking around because of the unsolved mysteries that have happened there. Thank you for watching AldosWorld TV, and remember, it is your world if you want to be.